The Gator has been a story that I have claimed could be my calling card. It still has a potential to be, but right now it's still mostly in here. Um, the Gator is the first story of actual novel length that I am attempting to write. 75,000 words is the word limit goal that I have set on myself. And in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be starting a 15-week process of trying to write 5,000 words a week in it and doing 1,000 words a day and taking the weekends off. And we'll see how that goes. But it will all be documented on video, my thoughts at the end of each day of how it went, how much I actually got done, all of that sort of stuff. I don't know if you can hear that outside, but someone is mowing the lawn outside, and it is very loud at the moment. But that's okay. We're going to ignore that. The beginning of the video series, though, I wanted to go back to the beginning when the idea originated. I've always stated that the idea originated from a dream. However, there is an alternative possibility, but I'm not going to share that in the video because the dream is much more interesting. And the dream is honestly the way that I remember it happening, although the alternative possibility might have happened before. I think it actually did happen before then, by about a year. But a year is a long time, especially at the time. This goes all the way back to 2011. I was 20. I had not turned 21 by this point in time, and I was a sophomore, I think, and I was alone in my dorm room. My roommate had gone home for the weekend, and I went to sleep, and I had applied to be a camp counselor at a Baptist summer camp. Now, I'm not Baptist, so I don't fully know why I applied for that, other than I really loved their corny video and I wanted to be a part of it. And ultimately, I didn't get it, but that's not really the purpose. In the dream, though, I had it. I was already there. I was at camp. I was at the camp, and we were getting to know the other counselors, and we're all in the same kind of like bunk or whatever you want to call it, cabin. And I fall asleep. I don't remember any of the names of these people. I guess they weren't that important to me. But I'm asleep. I wake up, and I ask, "Is it time to go to the Glades?" "Oh, we already went, but you were asleep, so we decided not to wake you." And I said, "You know what? Forget you guys." I use stronger terminology than that. Anyways, I ended up waiting to go to the Glades on my own, waiting for them to go to sleep really early in the morning. I did this just to spite them. It ended up feeling like I didn't know where the Glades were, but in my mind, I knew where they were. And I didn't know what the Glades were, but my mind came up with an idea of what the Glades were. And it took like an hour to walk to the Glades. I mean, I walked through so many trees, and eventually I started to hear water off to my left. And eventually I saw the river, but there was no shore yet, so I could finally see the river, and I'm still walking, still walking, still walking, still walking. And eventually I got to the shore. And this is where the river met a waterfall. However, it was like the sound was muted because I did not hear the rushing water or any of that. And the entire river was just a sheet of glass. And it was just amazing. It was beautiful. I stepped out into the river. I got into the middle of the river. I was wading out. I was only about knee deep at that point in time, and I remember really thinking I had never been more at peace. And that was the moment that the alligator lunged out of the water and it tried to bite my head off. And all of a sudden my heart starts pounding. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm going, oh, shoo. What am I about to do? And I start wrestling with this alligator. And you know, when you, in your dream mindset, you create ways of getting out of scenarios, even if it's not possible. So the way my mind did it was I created this little thing that looks like part of a four-leaf clover that was where the jaw attached to it. And if you pulled that out, like outward, like a lever, it would dislocate the alligator's jaw. But all of a sudden, it knew that I knew that was there. And so it started to wrestle more aggressively, and its tail was starting to splash, splish, splash, splish, splash, splish, splash. And I pulled it, and I dislocated the alligator's jaw! And then I tossed it onto shore. And when I tossed it onto shore, I ripped its teeth out. And it looked like a shredded bloomin' onion. It's so sick. And then I woke up. And I am telling you, that was the most terrifying dream of my life. And I told people afterwards about it, and they said, that's not terrifying, that's badass. And I'm just like, no, this is horrifying. And I had one guy at the time say, oh, it's because you spend so much time with horror stuff, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, he's not a part of my life anymore. Thank you. But I could not stop thinking of the dream. And I honestly thought, this is going to sound crazy, but I honestly thought it was God-given. And he gave this dream to me to tell the story. And I said, okay, the dream with the encounter with the alligator, dislocating its jaw, all of that, that's the end. Now, how do I go back to the very beginning? And, well, I'll discuss the prologue, which was released separately from the initial first draft, another time. Until then, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you stick with the ultimately 75-day project that's coming up very soon. Thanks, guys.